to day 6 of Christy's beautiful life and her 30 days of sketches. I am Brianna, and this is my life on paper. I like this sketch. I wasn't so sure at first. So what I'm doing here is, you can see, oh, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to say her name, but it's Xóchitl Ivette Martínez. And I will have her information listed below. I do believe she's on Instagram. So I have these pictures. My daughter and I went to a youth event in July in Florida. This is a speaker. This is the whole setup where we met. And so I really liked this vibrant paper. This is Paper Studio. I don't know if it has a year on it. Let's see if it does. I think it's recent. No year. Oh no, 2022. So I started off with this. What I did was I made a 3x3 piece of paper, just a scratch that I had been stamping on. And I made a template for this, and I cut out this. And then I decided, it's got 2 pieces behind it. I might have to figure that out. Do you see how there's one above and one below? I didn't get the memo on that one. Maybe a white piece of paper? I thought I was gonna overlap it actually I thought I was gonna overlap it like this. But I need another 3x3 to go up and behind. I'll have to figure that out. And when I looked at these pieces over here, here, and here, who knows? It could be anything, right? It's your imagination. It could be pattern paper. I have a new stencil I haven't used yet. It's from Crafter's Workshop. It is called 6x6 Color Wheel. And I think, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to use a different color for each ray. There's kind of a sunset in this picture here. I've got several Crafters, the Crafter's Workshop. Crimson, this is stencil butter. Yellow ochre, we've got apricot, and then this is a Vicky Bouton, and it is bubblegum. This is gonna make a sunset, only it's got 6. So I was thinking maybe just using 3. Maybe I don't need the pink. Maybe. But I'm gonna make one here, and I'm probably gonna have to tape it off somehow so that I don't overgo the edge, because that would be I'd get messy and go over the edge. You can see there's some kind of stars there, which could be some kind of mixed media. And then you see title here and a subtitle. I also have, I've got my palette knives for the stencil butter. And then I have a white gel pen, which it was Youth 2023. Youth 2023. And then I might put the name of our church here, maybe? I'm not really sure. And this is also a glitter pen, and it just writes glitter. It doesn't have a color, which is super cool too. So I thought I could use that, and hopefully they still work, because I don't know, it's been a while. And actually, after I get that done, I mean, the stenciling is going to be the biggest part. I'm going to need to let it dry. So, but how beautiful. I'm pretty excited. I started off with a white piece of paper. It didn't take me long to think, you're going to do the sunset on the black. So let's have fun and let's get scrapping. I cut out those, and both of those mats are 3x3, so that you kind of just offset them, and it sets up pretty good. So I'm just seeing how it looks and how much room I have, and I'm hoping I make it all the way around with this stencil. And I don't know exactly how I thought I was going to do that, but I start by taping off the first, I call it a ray. The first part of the color wheel. I have no idea. And I quickly figure out, yeah, this is going to be wet, so you can't do that like all the way around. But I do it for the first. I do use that paper for the first 2 red rays, for lack of a better word. And I'm so careful on this. I have to show, you'll see it in the finished product when all 4 of them are done. I was so careful with this first go around here. And it looks like so smooth, and it just looks, you know, like I was careful, because I was. You'll see the other 3 are nice and mountainy and a little bit messy. I was in a hurry, so and there's nothing wrong with it at all. It gives it some interest. And I don't even know that you would notice, like, oh, that one's smooth and the rest are really lumpy, you know. So But this is the portion that takes me the longest. It does not take a lot of the stencil butter, because those are little jars of the stencil butter, but it does not take much of that for each time I stencil it. When I picked out these pictures for the sketch, I picked them because I knew I could cut them into essentially diamonds. I mean, there's squares on the side, but oh, there's my finger. Like, oh, great. I just stuck my finger in the red paste. Wonderful. I mean, I just imagined me getting really messy and like mixing colors and getting it all over, and that was not the case. It's tedious, which I don't always like to do, especially when I'm doing a layout a day for 30 days of sketches, but it works. And I was glad to use my stencil better. And the colors are perfect. So back to the pictures. Yes, I just picked them out because there was enough room to cut. And if I had more room, I would have cut a bigger picture. But in the end, you'll see 3x3 was like the perfect size. What I didn't realize, well, the bonus is after I picked the pictures and then cut them down, was that I had a stencil that was similar to what the sketch was, but also I could use as that sunset that's kind of in the picture. So that is super cool. Here's me just fixing the red, because, you know, mixed media should be perfect. No, mixed media is not perfect. Get your hands dirty. It is okay. I want to mention now, too, that don't think I'm falling off the face of the earth. I will miss a couple days. I'll be gone for a couple of days, and I just couldn't get them done ahead of time. I will have one tomorrow, and I will be back next week for sure. So all is good. And I can tell you all about my adventures when I get back. Here I go carefully with the, I kind of call this the orange color. I don't know if it really shows that on camera, but it's really, it's a light color. And once I get the red, once the red dries, it in here on video it looks kind of pinky. It's not. It's red. It's quite bright red for being crimson, but I think if I had thought about it, I might have used the pink instead of the red, just so that we didn't have that one super bright one and the other one's kind of more muted. But in the end, it turns out well. So stay tuned for that. Sorry this is taking so long, but it is tedious. And when I peel it off, you'll see, like, well, especially for this one that I was being so careful, I didn't get it under the stencil. So I thought that was really good, you know, especially with just the two pieces of tape that's holding it there. And yep, just this is the yellow now. I'll get the yellow on the other side. When I do the other 3 corners, I won't make you watch that, or sides. One of them I missed the last yellow on the way bottom, and I had already taken this, like right there, and I'd already taken the stencil off, so I just kind of created it. And I don't know, I have to look for it, probably because I know, I don't know if I could tell you which one it was. Interesting. So I did a pretty good job with it. That's exciting. All right, so here we'll do a little reveal after I get the rest of this yellow down. I have decorated, like, well, I decorated cakes. When my kids were little, I would use the star tips and everything and decorated some cakes. So I am familiar with frosting, and that's kind of how this works, honestly, except for I'm not usually frosting inside a stencil. So, and I did reuse this washi tape every time I moved it around, and it didn't pull out. The paper is fine. It didn't pull anything off. So this worked pretty slick. It's not any special tape. It's just a washi that is not my favorite. There you go. So here it is completed. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this paper does not match. So I went into my Vicky Bouton collection and pulled out a yellow paper with a little pattern and an orange paper. Now the yellow paper you can cut as a 3x3 size, because it doesn't matter which way you turn a circle, it's going to look the same. But those, I'd like to say they're rainbows. I don't know what they're exactly called, but those orange rainbows, if you didn't do it at a diagonal, like the picture is, then you would end up with them turned on their sides. So you will see that once I get these cut. And I cut out 2 of the same color. I'm going to see, do I want to just do them all the same color? But I think it gives it a lot more interest to do 2 different colors. It still gives the interest with the matting, but I really, you'll see in a minute. So then for the orange ones, I just held it and I trimmed it, which is exactly what I did with the crosses that are the like watercolor look, and the white ones I cut regular because it doesn't matter which direction it goes. And those crosses lined up perfectly. And these I had to have cut a little bit wonky because when you look at the corners, which you might not always do, they didn't line up exactly. So I actually, I'm deciding, yep, I want the orange and the yellow, so I need one more orange. So when I go to glue them down, I'll actually check, like, is this really 3 by 3? Because this is being picky because sometimes I'm picky with myself, but the corner of the photos on some of those don't match up with, because they shouldn't. It should be a little gap in between the yellow and the orange. And it was like some of them were like to a perfect fit, and it just didn't work. So here I go, like, no, it does look 3 by 3. So I don't know what happened, but I just offset it a little bit, and I don't think it's too noticeable. And I think the one that looked the worst, I tucked, because I end up having her on the top and then the shot of the whole place on the bottom, and that's opposite of what I had when I was talking in the beginning. I hope that made sense. And here I'm just getting them kind of lined up to like, because I had already figured out they're going to fit nice in this little spot. And there I go, going, okay, one up higher, one down lower, and then I'm going to glue them down with my ATG adhesive. Get the other one, get it all glued down so it doesn't go anywhere. Then I'm going to take out my white spray. It is a Delusions shimmer spray. And I will cover my, oh, no, I skipped a step. So it is late at night, and my white pen works, and I'm very grateful, and it says youth, and then I put 2024, and it is not. It is 2023. I have an idea about covering it up. I have some stamps that are quite tiny. They're letter stamps that I can stamp probably just into a black color, and so I won't have the white pen anymore, but it'll cover those right up. And I probably will do the same thing with the Florida on the bottom. So here I cover up my photos. I'm going to use my white spray, white linen, and just tap it around in the same spot where she's got like the stars there. And then I won't do any journaling. So this mostly finishes my page, because after the stars of the show being the photos, that mixed media, the stenciling, finishes it up. All right, check out the playlist below. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon for another video.